Welterweight bout, Kevin Holland minus 258. Santiago Ponzinibbio plus 258. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 119 for the over, plus 119 for the under. I made a pact after the Kevin Holland last fight that said I would never bet on him ever again as the favorite, and I'm not doing it here. Could he win? Yes. Will he win? We'll see. But I'm not betting him as a favorite. That's just my rule. What do you think about this fight?
No, I'm with you 100%. I don't think Kevin Holland should be this big of a favorite against anybody after what we've seen. I know, like we've seen him against Hamzat, and obviously he's going to lose that one because of the grappling and powerful wrestling. But I mean, against Wonderboy is obviously one of the best strikers we've ever seen in the UFC. But he got 40-year-old Wonderboy, and he struggled hard in that fight, especially defensively. I mean, Wonderboy was able to do whatever he wanted during that fight. I know Holland hurt his hand in that fight. Maybe couldn't throw all he wanted at Wonderboy, but man, defensively, Holland looked like he had never seen a punch before, and he was getting hit with everything. So that scares me a little bit against Ponzinibbio, because Ponzinibbio will hit you. He will find the chin. I mean, he's not a terrible fighter. That's the thing. Like Kevin Holland, that had one good year where he was like, he won 5 fights in 1 year, had 5 fights in 1 year, won them all, looked like he was going to be the next big star on the rise. And these grapplers just started having their way with him. He is super long though, which scares me against a guy like Ponzinibbio, because Ponzinibbio's gets touched up at times too. And Kevin throws, pretty damn hard with that right hand, and he can connect from a distance. But if Ponzinibbio gets inside and makes this thing dirty, I think he could wear on Kevin. Kevin's been hurt too in fights. Like we've seen him get cracked as well. So super interesting one for the pick. Like Holland should win this, and especially like he's kind of got some, I don't want to say underrated jiu-jitsu because it's not like the greatest, but he can submit you off of his back. He's long, those long limbs. He can catch you in triangles, Darce chokes. We've seen it in the UFC before with him. But I think both guys, especially Holland, are going to want this thing on the feet. Holland's kind of just one of those guys, like he wants to please the crowd as well. He wants to find that big finish, have fun in there. He's going to be talking and smiling. I could see it come back to bite him a little bit here, honestly. I mean, Santiago Ponzinibbio is tough, and he does hit hard when he gets in close. I just don't have the guts to bet Kevin Holland here after what we've seen, and kind of that fight IQ kind of goes out the window sometimes. So, yeah, man, for the pick, I think Kevin should get it done, but I'm not super confident in it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Kevin Holland. I love watching him fight. He's a great entertainer and a great personality, but at the end of the day, like you just kind of touched on, he had chances. He has all the skills. He had chances to use all the skills with the grappling against Stephen Thompson to get a win, and just decides not to. So he can do that if he wants to, but if he's going to be a favorite, especially as a minus 258 favorite, pretty heavy favorite against a guy that's, been at the top of the welterweight division, at least, near the top 15, around the top 15 for a while, very experienced. I can't bet it. I just can't bet it, considering this guy has proven that he's not willing, or he's not always willing, to use all the skills he has. He's just going to put on a show for the fans. In that case, I'm going to want the dog. Not saying I'm going to play it or that I necessarily like it, because I do think if it's a standing affair, Kevin Holland probably gets the better of the exchanges. Like Ponzi has great power, but at the end of the day, he's going to be much smaller. I mean, he's got an 8-inch reach disadvantage against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is faster. He's longer. I think he's got a little bit more snap on his shots. Ponzi kind of got saved in that third round with that knockout in his last fight against Morono.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out 3 times before. He got cracked a couple times against Morono. So Kevin Holland probably wins. But at the same time, is he just going to put on a show for the fans? Does he really care if he wins or loses? Is his hand okay? That's another thing. Like, is his hand fully prepared, to go? Because
wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4 months ago.
Yeah,
it'll probably be about 4 months ago since his hand was broken. I think he had a couple screws put in there or something. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot that keeps me away from that price on Kevin Holland at this point. But at the end of the day, I think he wins. I'm not laying the price. I'm not laying the price whatsoever. Honestly, maybe the under could be some kind of play. Because I mean, plus 119 for the under. I think Ponzinibbio could get finished. I think Kevin Holland, he's got that, like, he's got a really good chin. He's never been officially knocked out because his only knockout on his record is the broken hand against Stephen Thompson. So he's got a good chin.
Or that headbutt. You got
the no contest.
yeah, against what, Kyle Dawkins, wasn't it?
Dawkins, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you're Kevin Holland, if you like Kevin Holland, I'd probably take him inside the distance. It's just the price better.
Yeah, and the one thing that sticks out to me too is when I'm looking at Kevin Holland's record, his wins, his last 4 wins. Tim Means, okay, older guy, you should beat Tim Means. Alex Oliveira, retired. Jacare Souza, retired. Charlie Ontiveros, everybody's beaten Charlie Ontiveros. So, I mean, it's like, are his wins really that impressive? I know he's finished a lot by sub and KO. But I mean, the guys he's beating, are they really that impressive lately?
Yeah.
It's just tough. It's tough to gauge at this point where Santiago Ponzinibbio falls, because he is 36 or 37. So he is kind of older, like Alex Oliveira and Tim Means and Jacare. So Kevin Holland should beat him, but at the same time, it's a risky one if you're betting on the side of Holland.